Hello and welcome to Falcon TV News. Today is Monday, May 18th, 2020. I'm Autumn along with the rest of the FTV crew. First up, this message is for the seniors.
Hey Falcons, it's that time again. Time to let the seniors take over. Of course, this year we will have to do things remotely, but some things will be the same.
Now, there are some do's and don'ts, so let's go over the do's first.
We are asking that each staff member partner with one senior. So seniors, it's time to reach out to your favorite Oakcrest staff member and tell them that you'd like to take over. Then get creative and post ways to share your similarities remotely. You could take selfies alone and then put together a collage of the photos all together. Or you and your staff member or partner can take a video on a Zoom or a Google Hangout. Just remember that it can only be the two of you.
When it comes to the don'ts,
you cannot include any other students in your photos or videos. And you are not allowed to meet up together to take the videos or photos. The next step will be to send them to Mr. Lockwood. He's going to do his magic and the media crew will be putting them all together for us. We will share them to our Oakcrest family and community in June. The staff will be getting an email with all the details about where to send your videos and photos. Please have them to Mr. Lockwood by the end of May. If you have any questions, you can send me an email at my school email, lmcdonald@gehrhsd.net, or if you're in any of my Remind groups, just send me a text. I hope that you are all staying healthy and happy, and I can't wait to see our seniors take over.
Reach out to your teachers so we can do a senior takeover day to remember. Today we look at ripples, the effect of the virus. This first ripple is one that can spread out and reach people in an unwanted way. Tiny particles escaping from a person's mouth when they speak, which contain the coronavirus, can stay in the air from 8 up to 14 minutes. A study has found the results emphasize the importance of wearing a medical mask amid the coronavirus pandemic. The research was conducted by a team of scientists belonging to the U.S. National Institute of Health and found that the particles that come out of a person's mouth when they speak, especially if they speak loudly, are much like those when they cough or sneeze. Those same droplets can stay in the air for over 8 and up to 14 minutes. This presents serious implications about just how easy it is for a patient to release germs into the immediate environment by simply speaking. The researchers additionally claimed that there are people who produce larger amounts of the virus and may then release 10 times more of it into the air than others by speaking. That said, however, the studies assumed that coming into contact, it did not take into account different factors that exist in a regular environment, such as wind and temperature. So more studies must be done, but the fact that there are more now unknown and uncertainties make this one more matter to add to the virus. Our next ripple is one that needs a medical answer before things get worse, and Jessica has more on that story.
A new antibody test that determines whether someone had coronavirus has shown to be 100% accurate. Public health leaders have said scientists called antibody testing a game changer, as it may reveal how many people had COVID-19 without any symptoms and so may be immune. Any reliable test that may speed up measures to ease the lockdown because people could go back to work confident they were not likely to get it again. Health officials want to roll out the antibody tests to frontline workers first. However, the government is not yet in a position to roll out the new antibody tests to the public. And while this could be good news for knowing if people had the virus or not, nations worry about low rates of coronavirus infection. Now, this may sound strange, but without a vaccine, the herd immunity alone will not be enough to avoid a second wave at the end of the lockdown, researchers said. In a worrying sign that coronavirus may not be done sweeping through the nations that are beginning to emerge from lockdown, recent studies indicate that only a small fraction of these countries and populations have been infected with the virus. Experts believe that 65% of the population is needed to achieve so-called herd immunity and control the pandemic. Herd immunity is when enough people in a population have immunity to infection and be able to effectively stop that disease from spreading. The results have shown that without a vaccine, the herd immunity alone will not be enough to avoid a second wave at the end of the lockdown. Efficient control measures must be in place to nip this in the bud. This has been Jess Creighton reporting for Falcon TV News.
Our last ripple for the day looks at how the virus has impacted the food supply. And with that story, we head over to Jackson.
Why there seems to be a shortage of meat at some markets, it's not from the farmers but the packing industries. However, for the farmers, and especially pig farmers, now are having to kill hundreds of thousands of pigs that they are unable to sell, a ripple effect of the many meat packing plants that have shuttered because of coronavirus outbreaks. These are the dark days on many American pig farms. Coronavirus outbreaks at meat packing plants across the Midwest have created a backlog of pigs that are ready for slaughter but have nowhere to go. Hundreds of thousands of pigs have grown too large to be slaughtered commercially, forcing farmers to kill them and dispose of their carcasses without processing them into food. And yet, around the United States, scores of people are struggling to find enough to eat, lining up at food banks after losing their jobs in the economic fallout of the pandemic. Distribution issues have caused grocery stores and fast food restaurants to run low on meat. Kroger, the largest supermarket chain in the United States, is limiting the amount of ground beef and pork that customers can buy at some stores. Costco has placed a 3-product cap on purchases of fresh beef, poultry, and pork. Wendy's has run out of hamburgers at hundreds of locations. The numbers of pigs being slaughtered but not used for food is staggering. In Iowa, the nation's largest pork-producing state, agricultural officials expect the backlog to reach 600,000 hogs over the next 6 weeks. In Minnesota, an estimated 90,000 pigs have been killed on farms since the meat plants began closing. The federal government has announced plans to buy $100 million in a month surplus meat, but even as some meat plants reopen, it most likely won't be enough or come in time to prevent all of the waste. Pigs are not the only casualties. Last month, a farmer in Minnesota watched an egg processing company kill 61,000 of his birds. The poultry processor Alan Harim Foods sent a letter to farmers in April announcing plans to begin depopulating flocks in the field. In all, it killed nearly 2 million birds on farms in Delaware and Maryland last month. Like the dumping of fresh milk and destruction of fresh vegetables on farms, the waste of viable livestock shows how finely calibrated and concentrated the American agricultural system has become after decades of consolidation. Every animal has a purpose, he said. Every being has a purpose. We have raised these pigs to go into the food supply, and now so many are being wasted. This has been Jackson Gatens for Falcon TV News.
There will be more ripples from all of this, and we will have to ride the wave until the virus can be halted. So for me and everybody at the Falcon TV News, stay safe, stay clean, and stay quarantined. Have a great day.